Words break reality into pieces, creating illusions of isolated things out of an actual singularity. Ideas behind words take on a significance of their own. Volume 5 pieces expose words and ideas as artificial, to reveal the interrelated oneness, which is the essence of the reality you encounter. Choice. We like to think our decisions are meaningful, but in life you really only have two options to select from. Knowing what they are sure helps you make that choice. The Essence of Reality explores how the psyche which you are creates the reality you encounter. Well, what do you think? You found the Essence of Reality, a singular look at how life actually works. Here you see beyond standard thinking to begin to recognize how you attract patterned events into your life and thus create it. It's all about awareness of what really is, and that is only ever diminished by beliefs and common notions. We do have many things to cover, so hey, enjoy this and explore other episodes. Plowing through words and ideas and the illusions they create, that's been the focus of Volume 5 here. My primary focus is always on reality, what it is that you encounter daily, and most importantly, how it actually works. Episode 11 here dives into the word choice, as in how you make decisions and exactly what impact your decisions have on the subsequent quality of events you encounter as they unfold. You've been making decisions all your life, but did you ever think of what would have happened if at some key juncture in life you would have made a different choice? Gone to a different university, taken a different job, married a different person, maybe gone traveling instead of settling down. As we approach the thought of choosing from various options in life, we'll find some fascinating factors in how life unfolds that put a different slant on the process and potential outcome of making a choice. Tom Nair here. I speak from a unique standpoint. I've spent years clearing away deceiving ideas to achieve what I call clear awareness. Life works well when you see that you alone drive yours. So these videos are intended only to help you see past common misconceptions to recognize how life actually works. One such common misconception is making choices. When you make an important decision, typically you'll gather the information you need first. You might ask the advice of trusted friends or people who might have some expertise in the options you have to choose from. You'll consider all of that input and weigh the possibilities as best you can. At some point, you have to make a decision. So you do. Options can often have a mix, though, of pros and cons that have to be compared and valued. But for the most part, you decide what you want to do, then you do it. You carry on down that pathway. That aspect of life, that decision-making process, that seems straightforward. You've done that how many times? Thousands. Each day you decide from various options on purchasing and preparing food. You make choices, I have to imagine, fairly frequently at work or in a family setting. Choosing as a daily practice seems fairly clear. What's the question? Around here, of course, a lot of seemingly obvious things get questioned. You ought to be used to that by now. The subtle illusion to making a choice is this: the flow of your life is somewhat different than it seems. Clarifying just how life unfolds will shed some new light on the decision-making process, and it should allow you to make a fundamental decision about your own direction. The point is, when you really grasp life's subtle connections, the whole focus on picking a direction changes. For the most part, the world seems to interact exclusively on the physical plane. Situations develop with different people involved, each having his or her own particular interests in mind. People meet and discuss things, persuade others, or not, of their particular point of view or preference. In a work or business setting, in social interaction, family matters, practically any venture in life, people interact, working on their own issues and desires, but impacting others too. So often, a choice you face involves other people and their interests. Agreements and even contracts, signed commitments and the sort, have been part of man's interaction for ages. Cuneiform tablets record business dealings from as long as 4,500 years ago. All such arrangements have required choices to be made by all of those involved. For the most part, decisions of all sorts are based on logical conclusions derived from information, as I noted. So choice seems always to be based on rational decisions, those conclusions based on information with some factor, perhaps, of taste and preference. But in reality, much more is going on than meets the eye. Personal life is far more complex than simple decision-making like that indicates. Whatever decision is reached in whatever avenue of life, from a simple choice of a meal in a restaurant to which car to buy, whether to stay in a current job or move on, should one remain in a relationship or break up, whatever the consideration, the decision made rides deeper values and underlying orientations than the immediate logical deduction. You see, your ultimate choice rests on your values and belief system. If you had different preferences or held different values, the choice you make would be different. In effect, the values on which decisions are made stem from deep within the psyche. So the choice you ultimately make isn't riding on weighed factors which you will logically regard, but much more directly based on inner propensities, which rest on held values, the self-image, and your worldview. That means that decisions are made not really on rational consideration, as it would appear, but based on pre-existing inner values. Given the current state of your personal interests, the choice you make is actually a predetermined outcome. Given what you are, your decision will follow. On that basic level, choices are not the coin flip they appear to be. Your choice is predetermined by your basic nature. Information you gather and reasons on which you base your choice, this all rests on your pre-established mindset. But let's look deeper yet. A second, more fundamental essence impacts choices and decisions. In life, you invariably attract patterns. As often emphasized here in EoR, you are connected with life and your experience, not apart and separate from it. And that brings up another angle to choices, the metaphysical roots to life consequences. Events and relationships you entice into life situations will carry a certain impact in terms of quality. So invariably your choice in any given situation is bound to yield a set outcome consistent with the patterns you manifest. This puts choice and the act of choosing into a whole other light. What you are determines the flow of your life. Situations you attract invariably reflect your own nature. So the action you take always fits into what you are in terms of inner values, beliefs, and character. And that means what you do is not causal. What you are is. The point to that metaphysical twist is that your basic choice, however carefully made, however fully researched, that choice is going to yield a set outcome consistent with your overall inclination, regardless of which alternative you pick. If you really desire a different path in life, you will need to approach the only real choice life offers in terms of quality improvement. You will need to choose to delve inward. First, to gain a greater grasp on life's inner-outer functional flow. And second, to be able to cause life improvement by changing the content of your own subconscious. This isn't an easy concept to grasp until you begin to recognize your ties to all things. Aspects of life that seem separate and apart from you. The point is, you have only one real choice, particularly you who is open-minded enough to consider ideas greater than and clearly contradictory to common notions. You have the choice to engage on a personal journey towards greater clarity or not. All other choices you make in life are illusory. You will make the choice out of A, B, and C options that yield an outcome consistent with your own nature. You will always do that regardless of which option you pick. Your only real choice is to explore within, to exert your real leverage over life by accomplishing inner change, or not delve inward. Should you choose the inner journey, you begin right then to gain dominion over your life's flow. If you opt to ignore this alert, you'll spend your life as before, locked into patterns of your own making, trying to manipulate illusions and making deceptive choices that are actually predetermined. So, take your pick. When you make an important decision, you'll consider all the possibilities as best you can, pros and cons that have to be compared and valued. Each day you make choices. Choice seems always to be based on rational decisions, but in reality, much more is going on than meets the eye. Your ultimate choice rests on your values and belief system. If you had different preferences or held different values, the choice you make would be different. Choices are not the coin flip they appear to be. But let's look deeper yet. You are connected with the life experience, not separate and apart. That metaphysical twist means what you do is not causal. What you are is. The point is, you have only one real choice: to engage on a personal journey toward greater clarity or not. All other choices you make in life are illusory. The choice out of A, B, and C options yield an outcome consistent with your own nature, always regardless of which option you pick. Your only real choice is to explore within, to accomplish inner change, or not delve inward. Should you choose the inner journey, you begin right then to gain dominion over your life's flow.